Pick one strategy to try every day or every few days, because repetition is what builds confidence in both of you. Small, consistent changes is what's going to make the biggest difference. Follow your child's lead. Pay close attention to what they're looking at and what they're interested in. When you follow their lead, you're showing that their thoughts and their actions matter, which motivates communication. Kids learn best when they're engaged, so talking about what they're already interested in is going to get language that sticks. Get on your child's level and be face to face. Follow your child's lead and see what they're looking at. Comment or label what they're already looking at, and try not to redirect them. If your child's playing with a farm set and looks at the cow, you could say, moo. If they're already stacking with blocks, you can say, blocks, up, 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 up. You can give language that already matches with the activity they're doing. Be their voice. Interpret what they would say if they could say it. You're connecting their actions to meaningful words, helping them understand what words do and how powerful communication is. When we actively try to be our child's voice, it also takes out all those questions and turns things into more comments. So for example, if your child pulls your hand because they want to show you something, you can attach the word to it. Come with me, mommy. If they are grunting because they can't get something open or something's not going their way, you can attach the word help me open. If they're looking out the window and they're getting really excited, you can say, look, I see a cat. And if they pop open because they hear the door open, you could say, Daddy's home. Hi, Daddy. You're going to be their voice. What are they thinking in their little heads and what words might match? A couple other examples. If they drop something on the floor, you could say, uh-oh, oh no. If they're reaching their arms up because they want you to pick them up, you could just say, up, I want up. If they're pushing something away or looking like this at the table, you could say, no, yuck, I don't want that. Use short, simple sentences. If you're going to use a longer sentence, make sure to break it down to the most key important words so they can really understand what those words are and over-exaggerate them. So you can still use your full sentence, but then always bring it down so that your child can learn to copy you. Simple sentences can reduce confusion and help your child engage a little bit easier. You could use about 1 to 3 words at a time, emphasize the key words, and keep your tone light and friendly. So instead of saying something like, oh, would you like to play with your brand new favorite red truck? You could say, truck, push truck, truck. Again, remember, it's okay to still model full sentences, but when we're trying to get our child to copy us, we're gonna break it down to smaller chunks. You could say something like, oh wow, I see a big dog outside. Big dog, look, big dog. Or you could say something like, oh, do you wanna eat the apple? Eat apple, eat apple. So we can provide both models for our child, but when we're expecting them to copy us, it needs to be short and at their language level. Pause and give your child time to respond. We've talked about this already in our rule of 3, when we're modeling a word and then we're waiting. I like to give about 5 seconds for the child to really understand what you're saying, process it, give a second, and then try to copy and say that word themselves. Model your word and then pause with an expected look. You're leaning into them, your face is in tune, and you're showing them that they could try something next. Patiently resist the urge to fill the silence. Of course, if your child is starting to get up and go away, you can model that word again and keep the interaction going. But try to give more time for your child to be able to copy you. Repetitions and routine. It is so important to repeat the words we're using with our children over and over and over. They need so many opportunities to hear those words in different parts of the day so they understand when to use them. Use the same words over and over or at the same routines. For example, if you're going in the bathtub, you could say wash, and every time you go to wash a new body part, you get to say wash again. Wash hands, wash arms, wash face, wash hair. That way, they're getting that word wash over and over and over again, but they're also getting some new vocabulary at the same time. We can pick any routine to be really repetitive. We can turn on things. We can say on for the lights. We can put our clothes on. On, on, on. Same thing when we're taking it off. We can say boots off, jacket off, mitts off. The point is we want to repeat over and over and over again, and don't forget to wait time in between. Verbal routines, probably my favorite strategy. This is when we use language in a predictable way that ends the same way each time. We're going to create a little sentence and leave off the same word each time so that your child knows what word it is and when they should take their turn. One of the easiest examples of a verbal routine is ready, set, go. You probably couldn't help but fill that last word in. It's when your brain knows what's coming next. These pop-out words just can happen. We're setting up your child's brain to know what comes next automatically. So now let's get creative in verbal routines we can do all day long. Let's say you're washing your hands. You might say, time to wash your hands. Time to wash your hands. Time to wash your hands. You're using the same sentence every time, and you're pausing before the word that you want your child to use. Now, of course, the first few times we do this, you have to fill in that word because they don't know the word yet. But the point is, you're leaving them that opportunity to know what's coming. If you just said, time to wash your hands over and over again, they wouldn't know which word should be their turn. But when you leave that little space of time and look at them expectedly, they will soon learn that that's their time to take the turn. Another example would be if you're playing Ring Around the Rosie. Ring around the Rosie, and then you say, and we all fall down. And then you do it again. You might have to teach it to them the first 10 times or so, but after it becomes a repetitive routine and you say, we all fall down, your child may start to come and try those words. Let's say you're at the park. We could try a few verbal routines there too. If you're in the swing, it could be push me up, or push me high, or I want more. Again, the verbal routine and the words you're going to teach doesn't necessarily matter, but you're going to have to choose a word so that you can teach it every time. Let's say your little one was playing with a train, or even if you were doing their legs like a little train motion, you could say, time to go on the train, chugga, 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 choo, choo. The choo-choo is the word you want your child to copy you, so you have to wait before it happens to let them know that's their turn. You're going to do it over and over again. Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo-choo. It's also great if we can add some sort of action to this so that they know when you do the action, that's when we're going to add the word. It's another spot of cueing that we can help them out with. So again, chugga, 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 chugga. Choo-choo. Pause and let them fill in that word. You can check out the handout that I've created for you on verbal routines to get more ideas of how to build these into your everyday world, everyday routines, and then join me on the coaching call and we can talk about how they work in your own life. Offer two choices. This is a great strategy. Not only does it give your child some power and confidence, but it also lets them hear both choices right away so that they don't have to pull out words from nowhere. Your child can choose between two items, two actions, two places. Choice can be anything. Clearly label the choice, show the objects or actions whenever you can, and then wait patiently. If the child even glances towards a choice or reaches for one, we're going to give it to them right away, but then that's your opportunity to model again. Apple or orange? Repeat, apple or orange? orange, and wait. If your child reaches towards one, you give it right away and say, apple, eat apple, or want apple. Try to offer choices all day long. You can add choices throughout all of your routines. Think about getting dressed. Do you want the blue shirt or the red shirt? In the bath, are we gonna wash our head or our toes? When you're getting your cereal ready, are you gonna use the little spoon or the big spoon? In play, should we put it on or off? When we're going to the park, should we go fast or slow? Should we walk or run or hop? We can add choices in everything we do, and it allows our child to build language. Communicative temptations. We're going to set up your child's environment so that they have to initiate a request to get something. When something isn't quite as it should be, this gives us an opportunity to model those words in those situations for our children. As parents, we know our children and we are running in to help them so quickly. The communicative temptations, we're going to just wait a minute and see if our child is going to attempt to get our attention, get our help, and then we're going to model those words they can use in the situation. This is going to look like giving your child a situation where they're going to need to initiate. You could give them a container with the lid still on. Then when they come to you, you're going to say open or help. You're going to open it right away so they don't get frustrated and deter communication, but you're going to set up the opportunity to model the word they could use so they can try for next time. You could set a very special object just out of reach. So when they spot it, we can give them the word for that object. Teddy! And then we can show them what else they could say. Down! Teddy! Mine! Want Teddy! Come down! You can also offer something incomplete or unexpected. When you're getting ready to go outside, maybe you try to put on their shoe and then go, uh-oh, not mine. Or if you're getting ready to go in the bathtub and you don't turn any water on, then we both look confused. Water! You could give your child an empty cup. And again, all of these things are so unexpected. Your child's gonna look in the cup and look at you like you're crazy, and then you can say, oh, water, need water. So all these communicative temptations are just about setting something up that's a bit unexpected to offer a language opportunity. Wait for your child to look or respond in some way, and then match that word to what they would say if they could say it. Add as many gestures as you can to your words. Show the object as much as you can. Add lots of gestures, even like a fast or slow is a great way to increase meaning and understand those words. We've already talked about gestures, but adding them to your words is so powerful. Wave when you say goodbye. You can drink and pretend when you go, do you want a drink? You can say, let's wash that up. Or we can even just clap when we say yay. But adding any sort of gestures to your words is going to help a child understand and use that word quicker. Using WH questions. Who, what, where? This can be a strategy for expanding language later on. Instead of just asking those yes/no questions, we can ask a WH question and then we can model the answer right away so they can hear the response. Comments over questions. I've talked a lot already about not asking too many questions and how comments, just making a statement about what you see, is better for your child to learn. However, we do want to teach our kids some WH questions, those who, what, where, but we're going to do it in a way that supports them and understands the communication. When you ask your child a WH question, we're going to answer it for them right away so they understand what we're talking about. If we hear somebody come in the door and you say, who's that? You can then say, it's Grandma. Grandma's here. If you're looking in a book and you say, where's the ball? There it is. Under the table. You can ask these WH questions if you're not holding out for a response and testing your child. We're going to keep the engagement fun and interactive and teach what we mean when we ask these questions. Expanding your child's communication, the 1-up rule. This is my favorite thing to start expanding our child's words. You're going to, again, think about what level is your child at currently. and then you're gonna add one more thing. Let's start from the bottom. If your child is not using any words yet, let's start with some sounds and fun play. When you're eating, you can say, mmm. When you're driving, you can say, we're just gonna start with modeling sound. If your child's already using some sounds, we're just gonna model those single words. And if they're already using a word, we're gonna add one more on. If they say ball, you can add something like my ball, your ball, roll ball, big ball. Always think about adding one more thing because we know that the child can copy one level above what they're already doing, or that's our goal for them. We're gonna model at that next little level so that it's right in their area of copying. Listen for the sounds or words your child's already doing, and we're gonna model one more thing to expand their vocabulary, offer them new words, but keep within their realm of what they can copy and what feels good for them to try. These are a lot of new strategies we can try. So again, try one at a time, but look at your day, start with the routines you're already doing. When we're getting dressed, when we're eating, when we're in the car, what are some simple things we can do? When can you pause? When can you add some choices? When can you make something into a verbal routine? We will talk through all of these things together to give you even more ideas, but these are the strategies I want you to think about